Gonna be back here for a quickie.
Are you sure about that?
These lost hats I wanted to talk about, but it's not gonna be a long video. But I'm gonna make it a long video because I talk a lot. But this one is gonna be politically themed for hats. So there weren't really too many, but I felt like it should have its own separate category video, themed video. So grab out just a sheet of paper. You don't need a notebook. Pen or pencil or stylus if you have one that you may or may not have stolen from work or just put in your pocket and just forgot that you had it in your pocket and brought home. And that was just a prop for one of your videos. Class is in session. Let's go. Got my own campaign hat here, so this one is gonna be a relic someday. It might be worth a whole lot of money. Well, one of the stars is off in the circle, so it's really not worth a whole lot because it was messed up and I did that. But great design by my brother. So in this Lost Hat episode, it's going to be politically themed. There have been a few hats that I've seen that have been pretty cool, and some that I just was too late to get or never knew about. So to start off, we have the 2012 New Era Snapback collection of the 2012 election. And looking at first at the Democrat side, we got the blue hat. This is the only picture that I found of these hats. I couldn't find them online anywhere else or of any variety or any other kind of angle. But I kind of like this one. It's like actual. It's not like the stock picture. It's what it looks like in real life. So it looks like it has a gray underbrim, which I like, light gray. It's got the donkey in kind of a trotting pose. And on the back, it's pretty cool that it's Democrats kind of in a cursive way spelled out with a kind of a banner underneath it to emphasize Democrats in the contrasting red. The colors of each party, Democrats are blue primarily. Well, Democrats are blue for distinguishing party colors for like election maps. And then for Republicans, it's red. So I do like, and I've had these hats before. Give me a second. I do have the New Hampshire Fisher Cat minor league baseball team, Democratic and Republican series collection. Back in 2016, they did these hats. Thank you to Hats for getting me the Democratic hat. This one was a hard one to find. And I like how for both of these hats, they have the contrasting or the opposite color as the accent color for the flag here, for the New Era flag. Yep. So same concept here for these snapbacks, where on the Democratic hat, it's blue hat with red lettering, and here on the not so trotting, but maybe stampeding elephant, I mean, looking at the donkey, he looks like he's kind of in a majestic pose, and the elephant looks like he's off to somewhere important, with his trunk kind of flailing in the background. On the back, they have Republicans and just bold lettering with white stars written in blue and kind of a white shadow, kind of gives it a little bit more 3D effect. I like that one. Kind of like that one a little bit better. I mean, I'm a Republican, but not because it's party bias, but I like this one with the design that it's just bold and kind of patriotic there. So I mean, the Democratic one is okay too because it's got the stars in the banner here. It's cool. So those came out in 2012 for the election. It was the Democratic nominee of incumbent Barack Obama and the challenging Republican nominee, Mitt Romney. At the time, he was just Mitt Romney, and actually, now that I realize it, he was trying to or maybe he was governor or former governor at the time. Well, he's senator now of Utah. He's doing a pretty decent job, actually. I might write him in for president in the fall, to be honest. But no matter what, vote November 3rd. Just vote. And from that election, Barack Obama was reelected for a second term. So in 2016, they did something similar, New Era, with snapback. So we'll start with the Republicans this time. So we have the Republican elephant in kind of an angry looking face. He's got all these gold stars around him. Red crown, navy button and brim. And on the back there was nothing. And then for the Democratic hat, it's the angry donkey with a red hat compared to the elephant's blue hat on a navy blue cap. And then the button and brim are red. I like the color design on the Democratic hat better. I'm just not a huge red hat person. So, kind of looking between these two, above and below here, I just like the color contrasting, the opposite, how it all just works so well. And then they had a third one, the elephant and the donkey butting heads with each other, and like, grrr, we're in a race, we're gonna beat you up, or the other side's gonna be like, I'm gonna beat you up too, and it's like, well, if that's the case, if your point of your election is just to beat the other guy, the other person, the other candidate, shame on you. That's I mean, for me, at least from my experience, from my philosophy, then you kind of exclude the voters, really. You're just there to beat the other guy, and then once you beat the other guy, the other person, what are you left to do? Nothing. You've accomplished your goal. Your goal as a elected official, as a public civil servant, is to serve the people. That's what I want to do down the road. So these are really cool New Era hats that I would want to get. I hope they do one for 2020. Not too sure, to be honest, because the political climate has become so divisive. But I think I'm going to start to write them just to say, hey, can you guys do this one? Can you, New Era, or Hat Club do something? I mean, I know it might look bad, political sides, but just do it. It's kind of cool. These are kind of cool hats. Even if you make them fitted or snapbacks, make something. It'd be really cool, I think. And don't make it, about the individual candidate for each party because they've been established already. Make it about the party. So, whatever. Just a little history here. The reason why we have the animals of who they are. Back in 1828, the Democratic Party is technically older than the Republican Party. The Democrats became the donkeys because back in the 1820s, when Andrew Jackson kept running, in 1828, he was called a jackass, which is another name for a donkey. And they just kept calling him that name just so that to get under his skin. The 1828 election was like the first dirty election. Kind of similar to what we know as normal today. Back then, it was like the first time it went dirty. So it was surprising for everyone. So because Andrew Jackson was called a jackass, and there are plenty of political cartoons about him being a donkey, he kind of embraced it. So joke was on the other people who called him the donkey because he embraced it. And almost 200 years later, they're still a donkey. The Republicans are elephants because Thomas Nast was a famous Reconstruction political cartoonist, Reconstruction era political cartoonist. If you don't know when that is, Google it. Oh, I gave the answer away. You weren't going to look it up anyways, were you? No. Republicans were nicknamed Elephant because in his cartoons, Republicans were viewed as elephants as, they're kind of strong, But when one little thing happens, they start to freak out. Just like in the mid to late 1800s during the Reconstruction era, which I would consider some of the worst times in American history. That's when, Republicans were for Reconstruction. The initial civil rights and radical ideologies of civil rights for the freed slaves. And they wanted to do it, but then when the economy would have just a little hiccup, they would become little hermit crabs almost. They would just panic. So that was the characteristics of an elephant, as described by Thomas Nast. So that's why Republicans are known as elephants and Democrats are known as donkeys, because some guy was stubborn and liked the idea of it, and because some guys were scared of little economic changes and couldn't handle it. So that's why we have it today. So, history lesson for you. Alright, moving on to the last hats here. It's kind of two in the same here. I have different examples. I'm kind of particular about which one, really. I would like to find, and I have had so many chances to get these hats, so I only blame myself. There have been some other ones that have come out, and they're like, yeah, we're pretty close, but it's not exactly what you want. So I would want a 2008 Barack Obama campaign hat with the O logo there, with that, the sun horizon, the red, white, and blue logo, as you see. Preferably in navy, and then a John McCain Palin hat, or preferably just saying John McCain on there. Again, preferably in navy, kind of like the navy color. I want to collect presidential campaign hats. That'd be a cool sub-collection for me to collect, going back to 2004 Kerry and W. Bush, 2000 election, 94 election, 96, 94 was the midterm, 96, 92, 2016, I haven't gotten a Hillary or Donald Trump hat, just because they're kind of easy to get now, especially with President Trump being president right now. He's kind of carried on his Make America Great Again hats, so they're kind of easy to get right now. So, if not, I can always just look in a dumpster when someone rudely takes off someone's hat and throws it in the dumpster. I might return it instead, but I can always look around. But it's too easy to get right now, to be honest, so that's why I'm not getting one. But it would be nice to, start with the 08 collection, or the 08 candidates, and that'd be kind of cool to get. That's going to end part 2 of Lost Hats. Again, just a few hats I talked about, but plenty I talked about. So, you know how I roll. I talk a lot. And if you don't know that, shocker. There's your fun fact of the day, that about the elephant, the donkey, and I talk a lot. So there you go. Comment down below if you have ever owned a political related hat, whether it be for a party or for the presidential seal. If it's a campaign hat, more often it's probably a campaign hat for a more nationally known candidate. I have a Pete Buttigieg hat somewhere. I think it's upstairs. Or if it's a self-made campaign hat, let me know. Okay. So let me know down in the comments down below. And if New Era or Hat Club, if someone wants to come out with another version of the Democrat and Republican Party New Era 950 or 5950 hat for the upcoming election this November, would you buy one, both, or none? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for your time today. As always, hats off to you for watching. See you next time, class. Class is dismissed.